What's good, Ravens fans? Today we are going to take away the top 5 lessons learned from the first half of the season. Some of these will be lessons learned for specific players. Some of them are going to be for the entire team. Let's jump in with the first one. The first lesson is that we can depend on the running game again. Last year, guys, there were a lot of issues with the running game. The only person that could actually get yards effectively was Lamar Jackson. The reason was several. First, the offensive line was banged up. Second, the running backs got banged up. Third, we really just didn't have a commitment to it because we knew that we couldn't get it done on the ground. However, we have seen as a team, especially a team that's ran for 8 straight 150-yard rushing games, we can depend on the running game again. We can take these long drives and get what we need to get done. We have the ability to be that team that is dominant on the ground. Now, the offensive line gets most of the credit for this. They have been excellent the last couple of weeks. They've been able to control the line of scrimmage, especially in run downs. Passing downs, there's still some work that has to be done. But when we run the ball, we are aggressive. We're tiring teams out, especially in the fourth quarter. We're doing all the great things. Our running backs have been stepping up. Shout out to Kenyon Drake. He has become a running back that is able to go into the rotation and really get some yards after contact. He was terrible his first couple of weeks, but now he is a star in his role. When we add Gus Edwards back to that and hopefully J.K. Dobbins, then we're going to be at a point where our running back room will be one of the best running back rooms in the league. With an offensive line, that's one of the best offensive lines in the league, and Lamar Jackson. So again, super great shout out to the running game. We can depend on you and we appreciate it. The number 2 lesson that we've learned is about the defense, and we need to apologize to Wink Martindale. The defensive problems were not his fault. Again, I was not a fan of Wink Martindale's blitz until you can't blitz anymore system, but the reason that it didn't work was obvious now. It's because of injuries, guys. We see injuries derail teams, and honestly, Wink Martindale was a victim of that. His defense in New York for the New York Giants is doing great. Our defense is below his defense. We still have problems even though we don't rush as much. Now, a lot of those problems are also due to injuries, but the facts remain the facts and the stats remain the stats. So shout out to Wink. Again, hopefully Mike McDonald can actually get his team up to that level that the Giants are playing at. But currently right now, we know that the defensive woes of last season were not on Wink Martindale solely. The next one is a more positive one, and it's basically Lamar and John Harbaugh together is still a great base for any team going forward. And this is one of the reasons why I think it's foolish for us to not pay Lamar before. Lamar is one of the most winningest quarterbacks in NFL history. So when it comes to winning games, right, maybe not throwing pretty balls, but when it comes to winning games, Lamar Jackson and John Harbaugh together are one of the best duos to ever do it. We have to understand that and respect that and see that. Regardless of injuries, again, last season we were injured all to heck. We were the most injured team in football, and we still were leading our division after 8 games. Then Lamar got hurt. So when Lamar is there and John Harbaugh is there, we can really be competitive in any team, any game. We are one of those teams, and we have to understand that the reason that is because of the connection between Lamar and Harbaugh and what we can do. So again, shout out to Lamar, shout out to John Harbaugh. Their teamwork so far has been astounding and has really helped us become a very solid team. And we've seen that regardless of who is in the lineup, they can be successful. The number 4 lesson is that Marlon Humphrey is still elite. Marlon Humphrey has the ability to really shut people out of games from the slot position, from each side of the field, from off coverage, from on coverage. Again, he isn't the tackler that he was in this day when he was forcing all those fumbles, but just from a coverage standpoint, he's easily a top 10 cornerback in the league. I wouldn't go top 5 just yet. Again, he's still coming back from injury, but definitely top 10. So shout out to Marlon Humphrey. He has the second highest Pro Football Focus score for our team. His pass coverage rating is the second highest in the entire league. So again, Marlon is playing really, really good football. He is, again, an excellent player, and is showing us that when it comes to just balling, when it comes to just covering people, there's really very few better than he is. He's come back from the injury in glowing fashion, and he is giving our defense a chance from a coverage perspective game after game. And you can notice this because teams really don't attack him as much, especially in comparison to how much they attack Marcus Peters. And the last one, I don't mean to end on a bad note, defense. But Eric Decosta, guys, has really let down the Baltimore Ravens offense, really let down Greg Roman, and really let down Lamar Jackson. We really always go defense. And it kind of saddens me, right? That we could have gotten a premier receiver in the draft this year, but we went for Kyle Hamilton. There were receivers on the board that were still very talented. That saddens me, not because Kyle Hamilton's not good, because Kyle Hamilton's been playing really well, but we also already have supreme depth at that position. So again, we went defense there. When it came to the trade deadline, there were really good receivers on the market. We went defense again with Roquan Smith. It kind of feels like when we have an opportunity to draft a receiver high, we won't do it. But if we have an opportunity to draft a receiver low, we'll do it. Okay, yeah, we'll get you some help, Lamar. We'll draft the receiver in the 20s. But we really need to make an impact there. We really need to move heaven and earth this offseason to sign or trade for a premier receiver. We need to be what the Eagles are and go get a player like A.J. Brown. We need to be what the Bills did and go get a Stephon Diggs. We have to be what the Dolphins did and go get a Tyreek Hill. We have to do this so we can be the best team in the AFC, guys. If our defense is healthy and starting to gel, you have Lamar, you have the run game, and you have a receiver that can really just dominate his matchups. Because again, he'll get all one-on-one matchups. We could be the best team in the AFC. So Eric Decosta, I hope someone's talking to you. I know you're not listening to me, but we have to get some help for Lamar, and tight ends aren't going to do it. Let's go get a number one receiver and really dominate the NFL. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe. We do this all the time. I appreciate you guys. Go Ravens.